Hello, and welcome back to Lovebug Tarot. So, my fellow tarot goblins, bug goblins? I don't know. Anyway, I just like to think of the collective as like we're all a bunch of just little goblins doing our best. Just doing our best. Anyways, on that note, we're going to be looking at the week ahead. What is one thing that's important that you need to know for the week ahead? And we're going to be using a grid system with this square deck. It's a Russian fortune teller deck, and it's actually laid out in a square, which is why the camera is so far back. And I will grab an affirmation for the week, and then I also have a tarot deck that we, just to clarify things, should stuff come up that is just like what is actually going on, which happens more often than you think. All right, so we're gonna put that to the side for now, and we're gonna get our affirmation. And if you're curious about any of the decks or the tools that I'm using, and then I'll explain it. There's no runes, but everything's in the description, all of the tools that I use. The runes, I have Norse runes and Celtic runes, and I use those to mark the pictures that these come out. And I'll show you, if you're not familiar with the Russian deck. It's actually really interesting. I see this one. It's a really interesting divination system. All right. Your affirmation is, if you can make time for other people's needs, you can make time for your own. Ouch, I feel called out right now. All right, so again, this is a very, very sassy, tough love affirmation deck, and I love it so much. If you can make time for other people's needs, you can make time for your own. Okay, so I'm going to set this, make sure it's, with our two little fortune cats over here. All right, right there. So this, if you're not familiar, is a Russian fortune-telling deck. It's square. You use all 50 cards in the deck, and you lay it in a 5x5 grid. So I like to shuffle a little bit like this because it's fun. You can shuffle it, I don't know. You know what? It's really what resonates with you. You do you. Everybody's a little different. That's okay. All right, but we are asking what is something really important for the week ahead that the collective needs to know. It's coming up. All right, come on, everybody get together. There we go. Nope. So we'll give this a quick shuffle like that. That card wants to be the first, apparently. All right, and then we start laying out the cards. Make sure this is all square. And I do know that my second camera, which is plugged directly into my computer, has a delay on it. I don't know. I do my best with technology, okay? So as this goes out, some people do the whole grid and then try to match them. My preferred method is to match as I go. Ooh, you got the sun. Heck yeah, let's go. And as you can see, as they match up, they can match up in different orientations. And so there's 4 different positions for each picture. So there's like 200 different kind of meanings that can come with it. All right. Ooh. And we've got Manaz. Okay. It's the rune of self. That's going to be interesting. Okay. So as we go along, you'll probably see more what I mean about like matching the pictures up. And they can rotate in different directions. And each picture by itself has its own kind of general meaning as well. And again, there's timestamps, so if you want to just pass this, that's fine. I will probably explain this particular process ad nauseum, but that's okay. I like doing this. And then at the end, I will take some time, and I'll cut it out, or just kind of stare deeply and see if I miss anything. And sometimes even then, I'll be in the middle of a read and suddenly see another picture matching. So, oh, the bridge. The bridge has come up, I think, in almost every grid divination read I have done. So, people going through some changes. Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. So, urus. I do use the runes to in the read as well, so they kind of have a double purpose. So, ooh, okay. Let's see. Nope. All right. Let's see. Did anybody ever play? What was that game I had as a kid? It was like memory, but all the cards were upside down, and you had to flip them over and like remember where the matching one was. For some reason, I know this is completely different, but it reminds me of that. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. Nothing there. And it's matching directly above, so it kind of in a cross. You can't do diagonal. We would have so many. And even if nothing matches, we always read the last card in the grid. We read all of those pictures in its upright position, even if none of them match. So even if nothing up here would match, I personally have never had that happen, but it can. The probability is there. So even if it does, you still have something to read. So you never have to worry about that. All right, the heart, the cat, the lily, the rooster. No. Forest. Nope, nope. No. Okay. Also, the past couple of reads, I've been getting a lot of matching pictures kind of like up here at the top. My cat is crawling the cat tree behind me. But I don't know if that's maybe just like things tend to happen kind of early in the week for the collective. Let me know if that's the case, if you've just noticed. Oh, so close. The heart is a great picture to get. Also, the sun is a great picture to get, and you have it in the first position, which is awesome. I do know some of these. I always use the book to do the read because there are so many different readings, especially with the different positions. Even though I've been using this deck probably over 10 years, I still need the book sometimes. Like, I'll know the general meaning of the picture, but sometimes the different orientations. Oh, do I need to move this up? I think we'll be okay. Okay. Sometimes the different orientations still, I'm like, I don't remember the fourth position. Oh, that one's close too. Is this on screen? Kind of. Why is my camera having so much trouble focusing? Okay, give me a second. I'm going to try to fix that. Okay. Interestingly enough, I had to put the affirmation card in the middle of the pile. I went ahead and shuffled them up just a little bit so this card could be seen a little better, the bottom row. It would not focus. And I wonder if that's happening, if that's like a message in of itself, where it's like you're having a hard time focusing, which I feel. I feel you on that. Ooh, excuse me. Confirmation burp. I also had dinner recently. I either have to do these really early in the morning or like later at night. There is no in between. Okay. So now I'm very paranoid, looking over to make sure it's not going crazy again. But that was interesting. That could be part of the message. And again, the affirmation, because I put it in the middle of, so the camera could focus, the affirmation might be important. So, all right, last one. And we're going to take a moment. I'm going to see if there's any pictures I have missed, and I'll be right back. All right. I think I got everything. Again, sometimes things pop up in the middle of the read, but I think we got it. Oh, we need to get a rune for our last card. Oh, all right, we got 2. Let's see. We've got Dagus, and one of the Celtic runes. This one is Wheel and Movement. Ooh, that's fantastic. Let's go. Okay. All right. If you were here for the shuffling part, the camera started to kind of go really crazy and focus and unfocus just repeatedly. So I had to take a moment and figure out how to keep the camera not going nuts. And to do that, I put the affirmation card in the middle of the grid. And what I feel that might be also saying for this is that you may have been having a hard time focusing. And right now you need to focus on the affirmation, which is if you can make time for others, if you can make time for other people's needs, you can make time for your own. So there could be a need to focus on yourself. We're already getting messages. We haven't even started looking really at the cards in depth. All right. So let's get the book and look for the sun, which is number 31. The sun is a really good picture overall. Like some of the pictures have really good meanings, even in their more challenging aspects. Typically the first 2 positions, upright and this way. Yeah, upright and to the right are, I don't want to say better, but they're more positive, maybe a little easier to work with. And in the last 2 positions, to the left and if the arrow, there's little arrows here, which is always weird because if the arrow is pointing down, it's in the first position. I guess it's like down, left, up. Anyways, all right, but the last 2 positions are more challenging. All right, so the sun, its general meaning in this deck is warmth and strength of character. In the first position, it's prosperity, flourishment, it says life's caresses and happiness. This is the language in this book is very flowery. I think this book was published in the 90s, but as far as like when this deck was actually like written, I'm not sure. But the language is very flowery. However, I love this because we have the rune of self, and the sun is about your character. You have a very warm and strong character. And right now, that may need some TLC, to say the least. And there's a little picture here at the bottom of this, and it's a person. It's probably really hard to see, but it's a person kind of curled up, and it looks like it's kind of below the surface of something, almost like this person is a seed, and then there's a sprout kind of growing. Like it could be just now is a time of self-nourishment. In order for you to, I don't want to say move on, but like, you can't, that whole phrase, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to fill your cup. And there could be, again, like I'm just looking down here as well. I know some of the meanings of this card, of these pictures, I should say. And so things coming in, let's get, kind of, I get the sense of like things coming in. And this seems to be a repeating message. Like things are going to be coming in that are amazing and good. And I just saw another picture because of course I did. It's the book. Things are coming in kind of fast. And because they're coming in fast and intense, and that doesn't mean a bad thing. Intense can be good, but it's still intense. It can still be draining. Even if something's really good, really positive, it can still be a lot. So you need to be in a good place, a good headspace for that. Okay. Oh, wow. 3. Dang. All right. Book showing up out of nowhere. Oh, excuse me. Try this again. Thorazas. We have Perth. And then the Celtic rune of shelter, magic, and health. Okay. See, this happens all the time. I'm sure someone was yelling in the comments of like, it's right there. It happens more often than I like to admit. And I'll stare at it. I'll like look and I'm like, no, I don't see anything. No, I got everything. Sure enough. Okay. Anyways, the bridge over here is another symbol that has come up several times. So I feel like this, but it's in a new position now. The last 2 times it popped up, it came out in the same position. So it came out, I think it was like maybe the second orientation in the second position. This time it's in the 3rd position. Okay, so, oh wait, no, that's the pig. Where am I? Where am I? What am I doing? The bridge. I had to flip the page. All right, so the bridge is a symbol for deliberate change, just as itself. In its 3rd position, no, wait. It's in the same position again. This is the 3rd time. I thought it was in a new position. Because I'm remembering the phrase is very, very flowery. It's, no matter where you go, the past will pursue you. Like, it's very dramatic. So this is a repeating message. And again, there's 50 cards in this deck. There's 200 different positions that these cards can be in. And this is the 3rd time in a row the bridge has showed up in the same position. So that's blowing my mind right now. Like, wow. Someone really needs to hear this. So there is a change coming in. And with Uruz, it's a rune of power and like vitality, but also like very base instincts. I'm getting the phrase your base needs. And okay. So the message that's kind of coming through is that you need to make some basic changes to, maybe it's every day, maybe it's I want to say like, I don't want to say like what you eat or something, because I am not a doctor. I don't know people's situations, and like, you got to do what you got to do to feed yourself. I completely understand that. But if there's something you're missing or something that you're putting off, because it said like, what was it? No matter where you go, something will pursue you. So it's like, if you keep putting something off, like a pain, or if you have like a migraine or something, like, oh, it'll just go away. It'll just go away. I have a feeling, again, I am not a medical professional, but if there is something physically in your world that you've been maybe putting off, I have a feeling that this is saying you need to address it, because it'll catch up to you. I'm just getting a sense of like, the cards are kind of being like, you need to take a moment and take care of yourself first and foremost. It's kind of like, if anyone's ever been on an airplane and you've had to sit through when the stewards are going over like the safety briefing, basically. And if you're sitting with someone else who is like younger or incapable of like putting their own mask on, if the pressure drops, they say, put your mask on first, then address the person that is with you. So it's like, you can't take care of the other person if you're passing out because the pressure has dropped. Like that, it doesn't help anyone. You have to take care of yourself first, so you can then, address the other person. And this could be, if there's no one like immediately in your life that, you're having to constantly like maybe take care of, or like a work situation. Like I don't know everybody's situation, but it could, because this is a general read, it could even be community. It could be things happening in the world. Like, I just like activism, just everything going on in the world. If you drain yourself so hard that you are unable to function, it's so hard. It's even harder to show up for community or for, you know, your family, your chosen family, your friends. It makes it that much harder. So I'm getting kind of a tough love message here from the card saying, like, you need to address you first. So if there is something you've been putting off, you need to address it. Like, that's coming through really strongly. All right, so let's go down here to the book that was hiding. Okay, it's 26. Nope, there we go. So the book, ooh, okay, that's right. Oh, there's two different pictures that mean news, and I just saw the rooster. You got to. Oh my God. I feel like this is significant as well because the book is about secret news, and it showed up just suddenly out of nowhere. And the rooster is about news that wakes you, like loud news that came out of nowhere. This, I'd say it's embarrassing, but it's not. And 3 again. Okay, so there's a lot of news coming in. We have Gebo, the gift. We have 2 Celtic runes. Ooh, this one with the single notch to the left. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. It takes me a second. Is of terror and fear. And then this one with 3 notches to the left as well from the same grouping. There's 4 different groups of runes in the Celtic runes. Is for skill and prosperity. Oh, excuse me. Never fails. Most other situations, I don't have this issue. And then I start to read, and I just cannot stop belching. Who knows? All right. Sitting here with my hands on my hips like it's going to make a difference. Anyways. So the book. And apparently the book was trying to get my attention of like, hey, there's more. So there's a lot of information coming in. And this, like, we had 1 rune and then 3 for each of these. So there could be an information overload happening right now. You may need to take some time away from social media. I know if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Or you may need to just limit the time that you spend maybe doom scrolling or any of those habits that can also be draining because it's so much information and it can be so heavy that it drains you. And those apps, and they're made, like the algorithms are made to keep you on those platforms for as long as possible. So it can be really difficult sometimes to like disengage. I completely understand that. All right, the book, where we were. The book is secret news. So in its second position, it's something that is of great importance let me try that again, this time with words. Something that is of great importance to you is being hidden from you. Okay, interesting. Shelter, magic, health. We have Perth. Perth is kind of also a game piece. Like it's the kind of the simpler one. Something, I get the feeling like something maneuvering behind the scenes. Okay. And Thurizaz is interesting because its rune kind of depicts the picture of a thorn as well. It can be a gateway. It can be, again, the runes have so many different meanings. It's very particular about like what they're placed next to and where they're kind of placed. Okay, let me take a minute. For some of you, this may not be for everybody, but for some of you, some of this secret news might be around, like, what's the word I'm looking for? My brain is blanking. I almost said your physical lodgings. Maybe it is, but like where you're physically at. But I feel like these two are connected, so let me get a little more information about the rooster. Yeah, the rooster is, the general meaning is news that wakes you. Because it's a rooster. In its third position, it's a cheerful pastime will force you to forget grief. Ooh, okay. Okay. Forget grief, and this is the rune of terror and fear. So something that you're grieving, or it's very, very difficult. I almost want to say, like, it's something coming in that's both secret and loud, which I'm not sure makes sense. But it could be information coming to you that's like big. It's big news for you, and it's something that you may need to keep on the down low for a little bit. Because we have the gift here, and we have skill, like the skills and prosperity with the gift. So like allow something big that comes to you. Okay, wait a minute. All right. I think this one in particular, and I'm going to get some tarot cards. I haven't forgotten about these yet. But I just got the sense of, like, for an example, if you've been applying to work or some opportunity and you applied to it and you suddenly get news back that you got the opportunity, that's a scholarship or it's like a completely free ride, you know, it's something big. It's really big. It's amazing news. You know, we have Gable, we have the gift, skills and prosperity. So it's like something that you are skilled at. And the news of, you know, something, what was it? Hold on. A cheerful pastime. So it's something that you love to do. It's you're passionate about it. And that comes in and it's like, oh my God, that's amazing. But the rune of terror and fear, it's like, oh no. It's that, I made it. Oh no, I made it. Like there's suddenly that turnaround of like self-doubt and like, oh, I don't know, can I do this? Like, I know I applied, but I wasn't sure I was going to get it, or I didn't think, like that kind of self-negative talk can really wreak havoc. And this could be why there's the message coming in of self-care. Excuse me, confirmation burp. Where it's like you need to be in a really good headspace for when this kind of news comes in, because it's going to, we were talking earlier about it's kind of big, it's intense, it can be overwhelming, even if it's positive. It's something good, it's something you've wanted, you've been reaching for. And at the same time, it's like, oh my God, it's that meme from The Office. It's like, it's happening. It's actually happening. You know, and everybody's freaking out. Kind of that, but internally. So with this one, with the book and secret news, it could be that keeping it quiet is necessary because you have to kind of sort these things out internally. And I do want to get some more clarification on that. So find a spare piece of table to shuffle the cards. The grid takes up a big chunk of the table. All right, so let's see. Two of Wands. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. So the Two of Wands is like a choice. You have to kind of figure out and make plans. So let's say, for example, this news comes in, this big opportunity. Oh my God, you know, it's happening. And part of that is you need to relocate. You know, that's a big decision because we have the world here and we have this, you know, picture of a little van, and this person is like looking out the window. They're looking to the future. Like there's some big choices that you're going to need to make. But I love the Five of Wands. Like you rose above the competition, and you should Four of Wands. You should absolutely celebrate. And they're all wands. So this is something you're very passionate about. But it's going to be, you may have to move things as big as this news is. Sorry, I'm knocking the table with my elbow. As big as this news is, you may have to keep it quiet to yourself. Maybe with the Four of Wands here, it's just like you and your partner or a very close person in your circle, who you know can keep quiet about things. There's some people we can be very close to, but they can't keep a secret to save themselves. And you just know that about them. You love them, but you just know you can't tell them specific things. If you're under an NDA, you're like, I really can't. So again, it's challenging, but it's really positive. I'm seeing some very, very positive stuff. Again, with the big message at the beginning. So maybe at the beginning of the week, take some time, do some self-care. Whatever that looks like for you. Maybe going out for a walk in nature, or doing some kind of movement that feels good to you, whatever that may be. Everybody is different. Everybody's body is different. So like what movement feels good to one person could be completely different for another. Do some meditation, or go for like a coffee date with someone and just relax and have that moment. Give yourself that moment to really breathe. Because it could be at the end of the week, middle end of the week, something big comes in and you're just going to need that moment to catch your breath before everything before the meme starts where everybody's running around. All right, before we dive into the last card here, and we're going to read with the runes here, we're also going to read all of the pictures in their upright position. I do want to get a little more info on our rooster here. Ooh, 4 of Cups. It's something you really don't expect. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, you have the Ace of Pentacles. You have the Tower and the 3 of Cups. That is lovely. Is this in frame? Okay. Let's double check. That's lovely. Because with the 4 of Cups, even if it's something you don't see coming, it is an amazing opportunity in your physical realm. And again, we were talking about the physical realm here, taking care of yourself, taking care of your body. If there's something you've been putting off, like a self-care day or just a mental health care day, something, do that. Because the Tower is saying like, it's coming. This lightning is going to strike. I want to see whether you like it or not. I feel like it's something you're going to like. You're going to really like it. But if you're not maybe centered, it could be a little more difficult to change that mindset when it does come. And with the 3 of Cups here, it's something that's really just, I don't know, I just get the sense of like this uplifting feeling with the 3 of Cups. Like the universe, your guides, spirit, your angels, whoever, however you resonate on the spiritual side of things, like they got your back, and your people and your people in your physical realm are going to move forward with you as well. I love this picture so much. The 3 figures standing here and they all have their hands just wrapped around each other. It's a lovely picture. All right, so let's take a look at our last card and our runes. So again, we have Dagos, which is the rune of the dawn. So it's growth, happiness, wishes. You can see it as like a little valley, and like I always see it as like a little sun peeking between 2 mountains, like the dawn is kind of there. And with this one, wheel and movement, what we were just talking about here with this big news, changes, things happening suddenly. Yeah, wheel, movement. That's all. Excuse me, confirmation burp again. A double. Are you done, stomach? We've had this discussion. Good gravy. I'm so sorry. Anyways. So first things first, we have 32, the moon. And I know the general meaning of the moon is peace, which is freaking lovely. And you have the sun and the moon, which is really interesting. So there could be a need for peace. You need balance. There's a need for balance in there. Okay. So when it's upright, it's, although your life is uneventful, you have happiness nonetheless. So I don't necessarily feel like... okay. It took me a second. So with the sun and the moon here, and the moon is saying peace, it's uneventful, but it's happiness. And the sun was like happiness and self-fulfillment, and we have all this like amazing things happening here and a lot of energy happening. Again, the message of balance. Like, you may need to find a way that you can keep that internal balance between things being like really busy, maybe chaotic in a positive way. Things can get very positively chaotic at times, but making sure that you find those moments for uneventful pastimes or uneventful sitting around doing nothing, sitting around reading a book, or, you know, watching a show, or doing a meditation, like just finding times of doing nothing, little pockets of times of uneventful peace. And that could be something very new. That could be something very different and difficult for some of us who are used to, you know, constantly like on the go, 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 because perhaps you also grew up in an environment that, you know, your self-worth or your success was measured in how productive you were. That, you know, so finding times to do nothing can be really hard, you know, because it feels almost counterintuitive. But it is very important. Okay, so number one, the first one. That one is the Cavalier. And that one is, okay, I lied. There's three. There's news that wakes you, secret news, and the Cavalier is news. So you have some kind of information coming in. Something is coming in. Some kind of announcement or news is, and it's in its upright is, you will hear pleasant news. So it's good news. And again, it may, sometimes big news, sometimes intense news, as good as it is, can be a little scary because it can mean big changes. It can mean, you know, it can mean big changes in your physical realm and in your emotional and mental realm as well. Wow. Okay. Wheel and movement. They weren't kidding. The runes are not lying. Like, some news, something's coming in that is going to facilitate a change. So 41 with the cat. Ooh, okay. I mean, I love cats. I have a black cat myself. But in this deck, the cat symbolizes hidden danger. And its first position is someone will charm you with kindness, which you'll yield to. Again, very flowery language. So let me translate. Someone comes in, and the idea of like someone coming in and they're like, think of a cat who's like, oh, I'm loving, purring, rubbing against you. All they want is food. Okay, maybe your cat is different. But there's an ulterior motive, and it's very ego-driven, maybe self-centric motive. So as nice as this person is, or yeah, I feel like it's more of a person. We'll grab some cards on that. But as nice as they are, they could very much have ulterior motives. And this could go back to the cards talking about, like, you need to maybe keep things to yourself or to someone very, very trusted. Because you could be dealing with that. Because sometimes when people become successful, people come out of the woodwork and they want to use your success to get ahead. They're not there to celebrate your success. They're not there to help you in any capacity. They're there to get ahead. And I mean, it's one of those things that it's unfortunate, but it does happen. All right, so could we get, for our kitty cat picture, what's going on with that? The Hanged Man. So taking time, taking a moment, taking a little self-care, a little bit of quiet, a little bit of peace, take a moment to breathe. If that's happening, try looking at things from a different perspective. Maybe even try looking at it from their perspective. Like, oh, wow, that sounds great. This person is trying to come in and be super helpful and all of this. And take a moment and look at it maybe a little differently. I'm gonna mark myself as a huge nerd right now, but to quote Naruto, look underneath the underneath. But it's true. So it's like, I don't want to, I'm not trying to be like in a sense of paranoia, but just be careful. Yeah, their motivations could very much be financially driven. So it is a good idea to defend yourself. Just defend what you have built, what you deserve as well. This is something, I have a feeling this is something coming in that is absolutely well deserved. You know, you are completely worthy of this. And it's not to say this other person is not worthy of their own success, but you should not be a stepping stool for their ambition. Just putting it out there. Okay, so 19. 19 is the castle, which there's the castle in the house, and I believe the castle is security. Yes! All right, I did remember. Yay! And so, okay. I love this particular one in the first position because it's so ominous and it sounds so negative, but it's not. So in the first position, it says fulfillment of hopes, although at the end of your life, which is like, what the heck? So to interpret this, so it doesn't sound like, oh my God, I only have security at the end of my, like, no. I see it, I read this particular card in this position, this picture, I should say. You have security, I see it as like building a legacy. Like a castle isn't built in a day. I mean, maybe in Minecraft they are, but in reality, no, it took a long time. So this, I feel, is the start, the movement forward, you know, again, the start, the gift of legacy, of you building your own legacy. To build a castle. And so, like, the idea of, like, when you retire, you know, if you are in retirement right now, like, freaking awesome. I hope you are enjoying your retirement. But the idea of, like, building a legacy that lasts. Like, you look at some of the castles that are around, have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. You know, there's a legacy in those castles. And they were fortresses. They were both symbols and very practical elements of security. So I feel like that is what's happening. That is what's starting, perhaps, for you. All right, I sit here, shuffle the card, because I have to do some kind of stim. Yep. So we have the Queen of Swords. So the message I'm kind of getting with the Queen of Swords goes a bit back to what we were talking about earlier, with something very big and intense coming in, and it could be, and it's really positive, but it's also a little scary, you know, because it could be something outside of your comfort zone. Even if you have been pushing towards it, doesn't necessarily mean that it's, you know, it could be a big jump. You were expecting to go from like A to C, and suddenly you're going from A to Z, like you are just like zooming past. So it can be really big and really scary. And the Queen of Swords, the queens, again, they're not genders, they're energies. So the queens are very reflective, they're internal. They tend to be a bit more passive, but they're receiving energy. Kings tend to be more active, outwardly energy. So the Queen right now of Swords, again, she's sitting here. This image of her just at the top of a building. Maybe it's the top of mountains. You know, just sitting there gazing in the distance in a very quiet, uneventful moment. Just taking a moment to survey how far you've come, to survey your future, to acknowledge your past, and just be in the moment. So I'm not like, I don't want to say like emotionally detached from the situation, but it could be helpful to take a step back and look at it at a larger scale. Look at it, acknowledge your emotions, but don't react with them. I hope that makes sense. So, wow, okay, you got a lot going on. So, anything to, okay. I was like, anything to close out, and we have the Hierophant and the Devil. Okay. For some of you, there could be a mentor coming in. That could also be the Queen of Swords. This kind of energy, again, it could be someone feminine. It's an energy, but someone who sees a bigger picture. Because the Hierophant is about structures. It's about, it can also be like teachers in a very like formal capacity, or mentors. And the Devil is, again, about this limiting self-belief that we tell ourselves. The Devil is a very internal energy. It's your brain goblins making a fuss and causing a ruckus. And that could go back to this, the rune of fear, where it's like this comes in, and then you suddenly, the devil, you know, the devil on your, the little devil on your shoulder, it's like the little angel and the little devil, and the devil comes up and is like, you know, can you do it? I don't know. Like, starts talking its stupid stuff. And you have a choice. You can get past it. I love this Hierophant just laughing and just laugh at it and be like, you know what? No. You know what, brain goblin, my little shoulder devil, you've been there. You can acknowledge, like, you've been there to protect me in the past. That was great. That was awesome. You did your thing, but I don't need you anymore. I'm moving on. I'm moving up. I'm going my own way. So yeah, and you have the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which really leads back to the affirmation. You know, if you can make time for others, you can make time for yourself. You need to protect your peace in what's coming. So that is what I have for you for the week ahead. It's what the cards have. So this is, so yeah, I'm finding I'm taking my own deep breath. I'm just like, this was a lot. But it, again, really good things can be very intense. So make sure to take care of yourself first and foremost. So if something resonated here, you can let me know, or not, because the secret news says, like, maybe keep it on the down low. But if you liked the read, if something resonated, please like, subscribe. You can hit the little bell icon, all that jazz. I do appreciate it. And I'm also working on a membership section with the Buy Me a Coffee, behind the scenes stuff for posting there 3 times a week. We're going to be posting long reads and shorts 4 times a week. So we're trying to do our best to keep on a schedule for this and kind of build up the community, because I like reading, and I like reading for other people, especially right now when things sometimes feel really uncertain. Sometimes we need a little bit of affirmation, and we need a little bit of just the universe being like, no, you got this. And you do. You really do. So thank you again, and I am sending you so much love, my fellow goblins. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.